I want to talk to you today to women who want more but feel tired just thinking about how to get there. Not tired in the I need a nap kind of way, but tired in a way that lives in your shoulders. Tired in a way that shows up in your hesitation instead of your excitement. And if that's you, I want you to know something right away. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling this way. I've noticed this pattern over and over again with high capacity women. They start talking about an idea, a side business, a creative project, a new chapter for a moment, and then their eyes light up. And you can see the version of them there where that dream still is there, the version that still feels the possibilities, and then something shifts. Their voice softens, their body pulls back, their energy drops, and they say something like, I love that idea, but I don't just know when I get a chance to do it. I don't know if I want to add another thing to my current life. And what they're really saying is, I don't trust my life has room for this, because you already know what it feels like to build something while exhausted. You know what it feels like to push through anyways. You know what it feels like to tell yourself, once I get started, it'll get easier. And sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it just became one more thing asking something else of you. And here's the hard part. No one says it out loud that starting something new doesn't come from freedom if you have no margin. It just creates another responsibility. And high capacity women don't get to quit because they're flaky. They quit because they're tired of building on what is already depletion. And I've done this myself more than once. I've tried to layer visions on top of fatigue. I've tried to motivate myself into energy I didn't have. And I've tried to convince myself that future freedom was just worth the present burnout. But what I learned the hard way is that freedom doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from stabilizing first. There was a moment when I finally stopped asking, how do I make this work? And I started asking, what do I need before I try again? And that question, it changed everything, because the answer wasn't another plan. It wasn't another goal. It wasn't another commitment. It was space. Space to think clearly and to notice how tired I actually was, and to admit that I wanted more, but not at the cost of myself. And when I gave myself that space, something surprising happened. The heaviness, it felt lifted. Not because my life suddenly became easy, but because I stopped forcing myself to build before I was ready. This is the first part I want you to really hear. You don't need to build yet, or to launch yet, or to decide yet. And if it feels full, if the next step isn't expectation, it's stabilization. Well, stabilizing your energy, your expectations of yourself, the part of your life that keeps pulling you in 10 directions, when those things settle, clarity shows up naturally. And when clarity comes from stability and not pressure, you stop resenting the very things you used to want. And this is why I don't rush women. Before you can create anything new, you deserve a place where you don't have to prove anything, a place where no one is measuring your output, and a place where you're not being watched to see if you'll follow through. You deserve somewhere where your nervous system can relax. And that's why the VonSwy Recreation Station was built to what it was built to be. Not a space to perform, not a space to recalibrate. So if you're watching this and thinking, I do want more, I'm just tired, I want you to know that that tiredness matters. It deserves to be honored, not pushed past. And if you want a place where you can sit quietly for 7 days and listen and decide later with no pressure to post or participate, the VonSwy Recreation Station exists for that. And the link is below. Nothing else is required. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about what it actually takes to change when a woman stops carrying everything alone. And what that shift often does is how it's beginning of something new. And so my name is Latasha Martin, also known as Techie Tasha, and I work with high capacity women who work full time and believe that entrepreneurship is the key to their financial and flexibility freedom. I've enjoyed you being here today, and I can't wait to connect with you again tomorrow. God bless.